Hey, professionals, welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm super excited. I have actually and admire another content creator that I've been watching for quite some time now. His name is Rob. He's actually a brand evangelist, speaker, again, a content creator. The reason why I have Rob join me today is because of large amount of folks working remotely. Now, before we get started, if this is our first time meeting, my name is Holly. I'm an ex Amazon recruiting leader and a career coach. Many of you have reached out to me via LinkedIn. Thank you so much, by the way. I hear you very loud. I hear you very clear. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that on my main YouTube channel. I wanted to talk about gear, lighting, audio, help you pass a job interview by showing up with confidence and instant impression from the interviewer. Now, keep in mind, professional, this is not just to help you get a job. What if you already have a job, right? You're still going to work remotely. You're going to be onboarding over video conference. So we need to make sure that you have the right gear to set you up to be successful with your future employer. Rob, if you could please give us a brief introduction of yourself to hear more of how you have your current setup and what's been working for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Holly, first, thank you so much for inviting me. It's always an honor to be a guest on anyone's show. So thanks for inviting me. Nice to finally meet with you. I know we've been going back and forth on LinkedIn and DMs and stuff. So really cool to be here with you today. So really quick introduction about me, and then we'll dive into any questions you have. Is that my role is the brand evangelist at a company called TubeBuddy. So we're a YouTube partner, YouTube tool for YouTube creators, basically to speed up their processing time, their keyword research, optimizing, canned comments, and just the whole workflow for a YouTube creator. And that's what we do. We have over, I believe, 3 million users at the moment. It's growing continuously, especially during, sort of this crazy time in the world right now. Everybody's gravitating to videos. I've been working remotely full time now for, I would say, a few months, meaning like full time Monday to Friday. I don't have an office here in Vancouver because the entire TubeBuddy team is mainly based in San Diego and in Los Angeles. And then I'm the only Canadian. I'm up here in Vancouver. And we turned our den into my home studio / office. So I've had to be really creative. I've got a small space. Holly, it's like 15 by 10 maybe. So it's a really tiny space.
Nice.
So I've had to be really creative with lights and camera gear, filming. Happy to talk about gear, lighting. I've had to really invest into learning about a lot of these things, watching a lot of YouTube videos on how people have built their studios, and being really creative with angles and things like that. So happy to dive into that for you, Holly.
My audience is mainly engineers, program managers, executive on the engineering or tech space. So many of them are gadget, they're photographer, but no one is a videographer. For example, I live in one of the buildings where I don't really have a wall. So my entire L shape are glass. So I tried doing the foam thing on the wall, and that hasn't, it looks a little tacky. So you mentioned small space, and my space is tiny, literally like a little corner, probably the same size as yours. So you sound really good right now. Can we talk a little bit about the essential must have and how are you getting the setup that you have right now?
Sure. Yeah. So right now, let's start with the camera. So my camera right now is a MacBook Air webcam. I use that. Now, as far as cameras go, the other option is my iPhone if I need to. Typically, my calls are with my MacBook Air webcam. Now, there is also, if I want to kind of step it up, is that I will connect I've got a Canon M50. It's a fairly entry level camera when it comes to DSLRs. So if you want to do like live streaming and that sort of thing, you can use a Canon M50. The trick is, if you want to connect it to a tool like Ecamm or Skype or anything like that, for a Canon M50 like this, I think it retails for about $300 or $400 US. You have to use what's called an Elgato Cam Link. So I'll put it up here on the screen. This is what it looks like. And I think this is another $150 US. But basically what this does is it connects to your M50 or a similar camera like this. and then it connects to your laptop, and then it can become a webcam that gives you a higher quality video. The trick is that with a camera like that there's going to be, crosshairs and all the things on the screen that you need to remove in the display so that it shows up as what's called a clean HDMI. That means you get the quality of a high quality camera without all the things that's normally on the screen when you're looking through the camera. So that's as far as video. So for people out there that are doing Zoom calls or virtual calls, virtual interviews, you'll watch a lot of news right now, right? If you watch news on YouTube, there's usually like conversations between a journalist and their guest. They're just using their webcam, right? So your webcam is more than enough if you have a decent webcam. The other webcam that I would recommend, unfortunately right now it's sold out, I believe. I was actually looking to buy one, is Logitech C920. It's a pretty straightforward webcam that people buy. I think it retails for around $100, $150 US, but right now it's sold out. You can get them, but they're overpriced. I was actually looking at Amazon. It's like triple the price right now from third-party sellers. So those are the tools. For now, if you can't get any cameras that's like an external camera, then just go with your webcam. That's going to be more than enough. As far as lighting, I'm going to show you these. So you'll see this red and blue. This is what that is. It's really, I think it's a $40 light for a pair. So I've got two of them that I use because otherwise my wall is just a blank white wall and it's not really interesting. So this is the solution. This is a solution that I've had. Again, thinking through my space, I have a very shallow space. I can almost touch the wall on the other side of this. So it's a very shallow space. So I couldn't really put like a bookshelf or anything physical behind me. So I figured lights would kind of add some depth. So that's what I'm using for the lights. Now, what I'm looking at here to basically the way you want to do lights if you're recording is that you want to have some background light. There's also another light that I usually have that should be pointing to the back of your head. It's called a hair light, and that gives sort of an outline to it kind of separates you from your background, and that is what's called a hair light. I'm not using that right now. I'm going to show this, Holly, and kind of give you guys a tour. So there's a light box right there.
Awesome.
That's a light box. I'm not using it right now, but that would be my hair light because that would shine to the back of my head. And the way that light works, it would kind of give an outline to at least separate me from the background if you want something really fancy like that. The other solution here is that I have another light right in front of me that I'm looking at, similar to this one, but it's turned on. So I'm looking at it. It's pointing right at me. And basically, that is your main light. And that shines right on your face. You want that light. It's called a softbox, and you can get them from Amazon, anywhere. So the pair like that was about $99 for the pair. So it's fairly inexpensive, and it adds some light to the room. You want that light to be as close to you as possible so that it really sort of shines on your face and separates you from your background. So those are the light setups there. So my space, my studio here, the den that I'm in, has no windows, so there's no natural light or anything. So I had to create my own light. So that's the lighting. Now, if you don't have the access or resources for lighting right now, just go to a window. So just look out the window. Put your laptop facing you, then you looking out the window, and then that's going to give you the best light. The best light is natural light. So if you can film or do your calls looking out the window, that's going to be the best. Now, you got to make sure that the background, it's not your bed or something unprofessional. But yeah, usually if you just look at the window, that's going to be more than enough. If you have I'm going to show you all my gear here. But if you have a phone even, right? If you have the phone and then you put it to a little tripod like this one. I've got this one for Archon mounts. These are like $20 or $30. And then you just put that on the window looking at you. You kind of have to be a little creative, especially right now if you can't get some of this gear, but you have more than enough. Everybody has a window, and so that's really good. As far as audio, Holly, I use a headset at the very minimum. Try to use a headset, even if you're on the phone. Try to use the headset that comes with the phone. So even on my iPhone, when I record, say like Instagram stories where I'm talking or do an Instagram live from my phone, then at least try to use the headset that goes with the phone. If you can, then you can definitely get something like this, which is a Blue Yeti. A Blue Yeti like this, I think it's probably around $100, something like that. But it's sort of like a mid-level, entry-level microphone. And it gives you a little bit more quality. And if you are kind of going between like, okay, well, I have a certain amount of resources to invest in some gear, I would definitely go with some audio gear first. I feel my opinion is that audio gear is more important than video gear. Especially if people are listening to you and you're doing tutorials or you're doing phone calls. People can always turn off the video, but if they can't hear you, then that call is kind of it's kind of pointless. So having a good audio gear is probably more important than video. So that's sort of like, in a nutshell, my setup. And then just depending on what the call is or what the video is going to be for, where it's going, then I would kind of use different tools.
Thanks, Rob. I'm glad you mentioned audio at the very end. Audio is the one thing that I struggle a lot, embarrassingly, the first 10 episode. I know that you have on your newsfeed to put your first video out there. I'm like, God, why did he do that? So that is strictly out of my Logitech 930E. I didn't even know what I was doing. It's better to do it than to not do it, right? But your
That's right.
sound is really crisp. Now, there's no echo at all. You just mentioned a small room with 4 layers, like with walls boxed in.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are you doing to alleviate the echo? Are you using anything special?
No, I'm actually about to order like a foam board. So there's these things that you can get. It's like acoustic foam. So I was talking to Andrew Can. He's the head of video production on the TubeBuddy team and knows all this stuff. So I'm about to order that. I find that this is pretty good. You do need. I was actually just testing this out. You can't be too close because if I'm too close, it kind of gets muffled. So there's
That's
like
very intimate looking on this angle.
yeah, right. So there's I kind of did this thing where I'm like, okay, like literally spent like half an hour with QuickTime and recording my audio from different like distances. And I found that like my hand width is like the best. Like if I just go like this and like, okay, this is like the optimal distance. But yeah, thanks, Holly. I'm not really sure. I'm just like, that's kind of what I'm going with. I actually felt like, and sometimes we get too close to our own content. And I was listening to some of the content I've been creating, and I'm like, oh, the audio is so echoey. But then other people are like, no, it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's too echoey. So that's why I'm gonna order a couple of those foam boards to dampen the sound. There's also a rug. I don't know if that helps. I have a rug here that you guys can't see, but hopefully that absorbs some of the sound. But yeah, otherwise it's just like a box that I'm in. So there's nothing on the wall. There's nothing else outside of my desk and my computer and stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it goes with the foam. But
Thanks, Rob.
yeah.
Well, another great reason why I love to bring you onto my show is your just overall presentation, right? There's a lot of content creation, a lot of content creator out there. I feel like your setup, you just describe and show us your whole studio being so simplistic, but yet it's so crisp. I love it. I'm very interested in the foam board that you just mentioned. So once that arrives, please do share a link and whatnot. Now, do you have a video where my viewers, if they're curious to see your setup, what equipment you buy, or if you have affiliate links or anything like that, that they could check out your channel?
Yeah. I have a few. I have a couple on my YouTube channel, so go ahead and check out my YouTube channel. I do have. I try to share sort of my journey. That's really, yeah. So I have a video there, a couple videos of me setting up my studio, me kind of going through the shopping list, and and then as the equipment kind of arrived, I kind of documented that as well on my YouTube channel. And I've always tried to really share all the things, even like tripods and camera gear and stuff like that. I try to talk about that because I find that most of my audience is really other content creators. Yeah, go check that out. That should be there.
If you have any questions for Rob regarding to gear, I know I did. That's actually the primary reason that I reached out to him even back several months ago. I will leave his contact information to his channel in the description below. Aside from that, I know that many of you are only interested to hear me put out videos on how to pass Amazon job interview. I hear you. I feel like it's really important for you to pass any job interview is video, right? Video, virtual interview. I think we're going to live through, my belief is this phase for at least until 2020, even when coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic, it's all over. Companies are now more open because for one, they have been working from home for months and months and months. A lot of them have already bought gear, like what Rob had just mentioned. If not, they will be because we need to be creative when we're at home. We don't want a blank white background, and we don't want to show up with echoey sound and just not be presentable in front of our peer, especially when you're interviewing for a job. Okay, so this is my video interview series. I have another special guest for you guys next week, so please tune in. Go to my community page. I would love your participation. Answer my survey, what type of future interview that you would love to see. And until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. See you guys next time. Bye.